Australian rules football? In the U.S.? That's right. The United States Australian Football League is in a city near you. Go to USAFL.com, find your team, check them out. We're a group full of men and women just like you. Join us for the fun athletic competition. Stay for the camaraderie.
We are the champions!
Log on and sign up to join your team at USAFL.com.
And a very good afternoon and welcome to Racine, Wisconsin, the Score Complex in Franksville for the 2018 United States Australian Football League National Championships. This is Women's Division 2, Sacramento versus Calgary. I'm Peter Holden. Great to have your company for this clash. We're not too far away from starting. The umpire just waiting for the timekeepers to blow the hoodoo or to give their signal. And by the look of it, our clock is ready and underway here at Racine, Wisconsin. Now, we should point out that the Sacramento Suns normally wear a reddish or orange jumper with gold, very similar to the red and yellow jumper that you're seeing in front of you, which are the Calgary Kookaburras. So Sacramento are wearing Montreal's jumpers of the purple and white for today's match. As in Women's Division 2, it's a combination of sides that play. So, for example, the Sacramento Suns, as you see, running around in purple, wearing the Montreal jumpers as they're teamed up with Montreal for this tournament, as Valerie Moreau of Montreal actually takes the football right now. And they've also got a couple of players from the Wisconsin Wombats joining the Sacramento side. The Calgary Kookaburras, the team wearing the red with yellow jumpers today, they've got assistance from players from the Nashville Kangaroos, the North Star Blue Ox out of Minnesota, and the Arizona Hawks. And as we speak at this very moment, an attack on play by the Sacramento-Montreal combination. Ball in the goal square, kicked it on the carpet, and it's through. Getting the goal there, I think might have been Helen Tech, and that one gives the early lead to the Sacramento Suns. They go to 1 straight 6. Calgary yet to score here at the USAFL Nationals Field 3 for the Women's Division 2. 1 straight 6 to no score. You'll note, because they were short on jumpers, one player will be running around in the blue and white jumper, was the Quebec Saints jumper. That's the men's side to the Montreal Angels from Canada, who play in the USAFL. So there'll be just an odd player out that you see running around, but she is playing for the Sacramento-Montreal combination. Ball is up in the air, one out in that contest there by Rakowski. Managed to get the football going forward. Quick little hand pass there, courtesy of Naf Pop to try and move things forward. And the ball is being held up there, and the umpire is going to call for a ball up. In fact, that's not that Pop wearing the 23. I can tell you that for certain, because Nat Pop wears, of course, the appropriate headdress over the head. She is a Wisconsin Wombat player, and you'll see her running around, no doubt, very shortly. As the ball moves out towards the wing position, far side of the ground, chasing after it is Villa. And the ball now moving up towards the wing position, flying through the air, almost hands on the footy. And that was Naflapopoulos we just see running by right now. As the hurried hand pass over the top, taken away here by Hickey. Trying to get a hurry kick, stolen. Let's see who can try and squeeze the football out. As a pack situation is going to form, the umpire will call for a ball up. Reset ourselves. We don't actually have a 51 on our sheet here, so a little bit of guessing work going on for a couple of the players. Susan Cadman doing the rucking there. Brings the ball to ground. Right hand pass out. The umpire didn't call it a throw on that occasion. And all wrapped up. In goes Caroline Leduc. Will call for a ball up. Montreal played in those purple jumpers as their own standalone side in Division 1 last year. Division 1 for standalone teams. They didn't quite have the numbers this year, so they've gone down to Division 2 and teamed up here with Sacramento. Sacramento were also a Division 1 side last year. Again, they didn't have enough numbers to form their own standalone side, and of course are now playing in Division 2 with this help of Montreal and the Wisconsin Wombat players. The Wisconsin Wombats are normally based out of Madison, Wisconsin. A couple of women as part of their club. They're obviously looking for more. More details can be found at USAFL.com. Valerie Moreau goes in to lay a tackle. Does well. Moreau was the leading goal kicker for the Essendon side in the VFL women's competition this year, and she is hoping to be drafted in the AFL women's competition when they hold their draft on October 23. The AFL Women's Competition is a semi-professional competition in Australia. They play 7 home and away games to each side, and then, of course, semi-finals and final. Ball close to the forward pocket here for Calgary, pushing forward. Calgary were another team that were last year in Division 1 as their own standalone side. Didn't quite have the numbers this year to form a Division 1 team, so they're here in Division 2 as Natalie Smith goes back to have a shot. Natalie Smith, one of the players helping them out from another club. She actually gives it the hand pass. She's from the Nashville Kangaroos. There's a long shot at goal. Bounces in the goal square. Goes the opposite way from walking away from goal as the hurry kick off the ground. Now trying to get in there. Luczynski squeezed out. Calling for it here. That might be who's got the football. In fact, that's Naplapov, sorry. Now the hurry kick. Ball in the forward line. Trying to squeeze it there. Bunker in defence for Sacramento. Good bump laid on there by Titus Lay. That's Erica Titus Lay. Naplapov going after it. Weaved around. Then got caught. I think they're holding the football. And the umpire signals a free kick going the way of Calgary. So by the look of it, it's the 21 on Zatko. Turns the footy over. Kick up the wing position. Trying to find Senecal. Got bowled over. Good pressure laid on by Alyssa Hickey. He goes in again. And the umpire's pulled out a free kick going the way of the Calgary Kookaburras. Pardon me, against the Calgary Kookaburras. Going the way of Valerie Moreau of the Sacramento-Montreal combination. Kicks in towards the middle of the ground. Foot race on here. Hand pass over the top while under pressure. Caroline Ireland coming in to lay the tackle for Calgary. Ball spilled free. Hand pass up in the air. Hurry kick away out of the pack. Goes inside forward 50. Juggling football, Danielson. Goes again. Rolls over the opponent. And the umpire says holding the football. Danielle Marshall got pinned. And a free kick going the way of Elizabeth Danielson. Danielson a key forward for Sacramento. Gets on the right boot. Goes long towards the goal square. Just got out the back. Did it sneak in for a score? Yes, it did, according to the goal umpire. That is just the one behind. And that now brings the score along to 1-1-7 Sacramento. Calgary yet to score. You're watching the USAFL Nationals of 2018 here in Racine, Wisconsin. Women's Division 2. There's 5 men's divisions, 2 women's divisions. Leduc goes for goal, but away to the left-hand side. And did it score? It went out of bounds, I think, according to the umpire. He raised his hand in the air to signal that. And is it a boundary throw-in or a free kick? We'll just watch what's happening here. Looks like it went out of bounds on the full, so a free kick going the way of the Calgary Kookaburras. Kick the ball back into play towards their half-back flank. Hurry kick. Just knocked away there by the player in Avila. Weaving through traffic. Got the hand pass out. Crashing in there with the knees, Natalie Smith. Now the hurry kick up towards centre wing. Pressure being laid on there by Olivia Christensen. The ball goes over the boundary line and out of bounds. As we were mentioning earlier, Sacramento are wearing Montreal's jumpers today. That is the purple kit. Normally, like you just see these socks in the foreground here, they're normally the red and yellow, which are the colours of the Gold Coast Suns in the Australian Football League. That's where Sacramento took their name from, but due to the obvious colour clash between the jumpers, they've gone to wear Montreal's to avoid that clash. Umpires pulled out a free kick. Going the way here of 28 for Calgary, Angela Phillips, who normally plays for the North Star Blue Ox, based out of the Twin Cities, around Minneapolis, St. Paul. 2 clubs out that way. You've got the Minnesota Freeze and the North Star Blue Ox. North Star Blue Ox are growing in numbers, which is great to see. As a Division 2 club, Minnesota playing Division 1. Tackle being laid on here by Christian Falk. Great tackle stripping Cassie Cox to the football. And Cox has been pinned for holding the ball. Cox, player for the Arizona Hawks, playing for Calgary today. So Kristen Flock, pardon me, for Sacramento up the line. Good mark. Rakowski. She has the football. Plays on. Up the line. Looking for Leduc. Squeeze out the contest. Went back to go back and get it again. Leduc, another effort. Great footy. Now goes for the soccer kick off the ground. Coming in to try and lay the tackle there, Susan Cadman. Leduc again. Moreau. Hand pass. Calgary, look for the turnover here. Hurry kick off the side of the boot for Sacramento. Only as far as Marilla Victoria. Now the hurry kick away. Umpire calls play on. Moreau got the hand pass out. They'll do the shepherding work. Now the ball squeezes out. Long kick up the line. Off hands. Out the side, looking for Cadman. Goes for goal. And there's the bounce, an awkward bounce away to the left. It didn't straighten up. And the Kookaburras might try to come out of defense. Naflipov coming after the footy. Head over the ball. Goes back in again. Dispossessed.
Come on, Raya!
Now here's a chance. Spinning around there. Natalie Smith. Caroline Island. Back to Smith. Smith's kick might have been touched off the boot. Play on calls the umpire. Hand pass out here. Now they don't argue. Oh, she could be caught in the second time around. And that, I think, was the Calgary player pinned for holding the ball. And a free kick going the way of Susan Cadman. Took on one, just couldn't beat the other. Susan Cadman. Shot towards Danielson, who takes the mark. And she'll be lining up directly in front. So here in the first half, 8 minutes remaining. And I think that looks pretty good from Elizabeth Danielson. A goal. And that extends the lead here to 13 points. 2-1-13 Sacramento. Calgary yet to score here in Women's Division 2. You're watching the USAFL Nationals here on YouTube. I'm Peter Holton. Thanks very much for your company. 13-point lead to the Suns over the Kookaburras. We play a round-robin format in Women's Division 2. Of the 5 sides, they all play each other once. And after their 4 matches each, the team with the best record is declared the Women's Division 2 champion. Opposed to Division 1, where there's 6 teams. And they play pool play, 2 pools of 3 teams. Best 2 go to semi-finals, and then the winners of the semi-finals meet in the final. A spin out of trouble. Try to get the kick away, but the umpire says you were caught dropping the football. And a free kick going the way there of Laurel Desch. Only plays for Nashville, today playing for the Calgary Kookaburras. Gets up, feeling a little sore from that piece of play. Desch has the footy, tries to shake it off. Beautiful rural Racine, Wisconsin. We're in the Franksville part of Racine here at the Score Complex. Huge facility, which allows us to play Aussie rules football and have 5 fields going on at once. An Aussie rules field is usually about 2.5 times your average soccer field. Umpire says that one's too high over the shoulder. Free kick going the way of Calgary Kookaburras. Here's the kick out towards the wing position. Turnover. Chance here for Danielson again. Strong leading forward. She's a big presence there. and she's creating lots of headaches for defenses. She goes long and away to the left for a minus score. So that now moves the score here along to 2-2-14 for Sacramento. Calgary yet to score. We've got about 5.5 minutes remaining in this first half. That hooter you hear is not from our field, that's from field 2, directly behind us in our camera position. There's a cluster of 3 grounds right next to each other here. To our right, where you can hear some commentary in the background. That's the Coopers field, the main field. Another field being streamed behind us is field 2. We're here on field 3. And several hundred metres away to the right-hand side is fields 4 and 5, respectively. As we have more than 40 teams participating in this year's Nationals, so we need as many fields as possible happening. First game starting at 9 p.m. and ending at 6 p.m. on the Saturday. On the Sunday, first game starts at 8 a.m. and the final game wraps up at 5:15. So 2 very long days of plenty of football action. So a chance now. I think this is Rebecca Mansell here for Calgary. Stays wide with the kick towards the outer side. Trying to chase after there, Caitlin Bunker. The Montreal players of Sacramento. Hurry kick out of the pack. He's partially smothered. Bunker went again. There's the football on for Sacramento. Going inside 50. Moreau. 2 bites of the cherry. Pulls it in. Long way out from scoring. Just waiting up to see if she can find a lead to hit up. She says, I'm going to go for distance. I'm going for distance. And then, of course, goes to pass. Doesn't quite work out. Just falls short of the intended target. There's the little hand pass off by Cadman. Now the kick towards the forward pocket. Sits up there for Jen Sheehan, who was under pressure and lost the football. And the umpire says holding, and it's a free kick going the way of Sacramento. They're up against the boundary. 3.5 minutes remaining. Here's the kick. How does it look? Has it snuck in? It has! Wonderful goal! And they skip further away, Sacramento. That score now moves them on to 3-2-20, leading Calgary. No score here on Field 3 at the Score Complex, Franksville, Racine, Wisconsin. Great attacking football from the Suns. Calgary struggling to find a way past their centre wing position. Too many stars at the moment for Sacramento. A number of the Montreal players, as we said, Leduc and Moreau standing up, and Cadman. And then they've got that key focal point in Danielson in the forward line. That just straightens them up. Here's the kick from centre half back from the Kookaburras. Only to be sent back from whence it came by Caitlin Bunker towards the centre wing. Almost like a rugby maul out there. Kristen Flock wants to try and get the football out. Goes to the boundary line. Chasing after it is Roncancillo. Alexia Roncancillo normally plays for the Nashville Kangaroos. Today playing for the Calgary Kookaburras. Very Australian, that. The Kangaroos and the Kookaburras as nicknames. As the ball is thrown up, Brakowski wins the tap. I was going to say Calgary would come away with the ball, but they weren't clean here. And this allows an opportunity for Sacramento to try and get it in the Moreau direction, who receives it now. Moreau, like a hot knife through butter. Kicks towards half forward. Senecal was trying to get there. That's Isabel Senecal. Now getting in there, Cadman, knocked out of her hands. Hand pass backwards, Rakowski to Moreau. Moreau worked it wide. Just a little too much juice on the kick. Went over the head of Natasha Teach, and the ball went over the boundary line and out of bounds. So we'll have a throw in at the half-forward flank here for Sacramento. Nearing half-time. We're playing 2 20-minute halves, no time on. There's no stoppage time at all, barring major injuries. As we wait for the ball to be thrown back into play. Ball is tapped forward. Moreau got in there, couldn't squeeze it out. How's a hurry kick away? She goes up the line, dribbling football, chasing after it there. Sequeira hold it up and saw the ball go over the boundary line and out of bounds. We'll wait for a throw in. Back into play. Slapped there by Danielle Marshall. And the ball has now gone over the boundary line and out of bounds further up the field here for Sacramento. In fact, the umpire signalled as it went out of bounds on the full. So apologies, didn't quite capture that there on the vision. Not too far away from the halftime hooter. Kick up the line. In towards heavy traffic. And that is half-time here. Well, that is a hooter, unless that's the field 3 behind us. Play's continuing on as we speak. That's what happens when you've got so many fields next to each other. Jumping in over the top there was, I think, Honzacco. And that is now officially half-time. It's a 20-point lead to Sacramento here at Racine, Wisconsin in Women's Division 2. We'll be back in just a moment.
My first game, I stood there and I was just like, I don't know what's happening, but I'm just gonna run. I just kept going and I kept going to practice, I kept going to the games, and eventually it just clicked. And I was just like, oh, I get it now, like this is fun.
Aussie rules, is also known as footy, is the equivalent of like the NFL here, and so in Australia they call it AFL.
So in Australia it's still a huge sport, especially for the women. It's getting even bigger.
It's empowering for women, young women.
It's really great to just be able to run around and just have so much fun with a bunch of people that love the same sport that you do.
It just gives me this energy that I just can't describe, and it just brings me like so much joy.
It's a great physical outlet, but also the people that we play with are just so amazing.
These are the girls that if you want to dress up and go out, they'll be there for you. If you want to be in your sweatpants all day and eat chocolate and watch Netflix, they're also there for you.
I think that this sport has something for everyone.
I just feel like anyone and everyone should try it, give it a go, and just see if they like it.
If you're watching this video, it's not by accident. This is for you.
And welcome back here to Racine, Wisconsin. We're underway for the second half, should I say. We're normally used to saying a third quarter after a halftime break, but of course we're just playing two 20-minute halves here as part of Women's Division 2 of the 2018 United States Australian Football League National Championships. It's Sacramento versus the Calgary Kookaburras. Sacramento are wearing the purple and white jumpers today, not their usual jumpers, that of Montreal they're wearing, while the Calgary Kookaburras wearing their traditional red and yellow jumpers. Mark taken there in the forward line by Senecal, who deliver inside 50, and another mark taken not too far out from goal, within scoring range here. They currently lead by 20 points, Sacramento. As we said, we're in the Montreal Jumpers because for this Women's Division 2, they've teamed up with Montreal. So it's players from the Sacramento Suns, the Montreal Angels, and the Wisconsin Wombats up against the Calgary Kookaburras, who feature players from the Nashville Kangaroos, the North Star Blue Ox, and the Arizona Hawks. As we speak, a shot on goal just managed to be kept in play. Has it been shoveled through for a point? No, it hasn't. It's very close towards the boundary line. Isabel Senecal chasing after the football. Manages to keep it aligned. Cabin there with a hurry kick around the corner. And it's away to the right-hand side and will register as just the minor score. So that now brings things along here to 3-3-21 for Sacramento. Calgary yet to score. Peter Holden with you on commentary. Field 3, the Score Complex in Racine, Wisconsin. Here on Saturday, October 13th, 2018. Big thank you to Real Racine, the Racine Tourist Bureau, for Their hospitality, it's been simply A+, fantastic for us and all the players here for this USAFL National Championships. Ball goes over the boundary line and out of bounds. We'll call for a throw in here on the centre wing, far side of the ground. Thrown back into play. Doing the rucking there is Luczynski, Taylor Luczynski for Calgary. Moreau there with the ball, kicks in towards the middle of the ground. Might want to chase up her own kick. Under pressure, get rid of the hand pass was Rome Cansino. Sacramento now moved the ball towards centre wing, camera side. Had to get rid of the football while under pressure there. Christine Flock, should I say, pardon me. Leduc wanted to go in there. And pass out. Will almost be dropping the football. Leduc goes again. Leduc got it around on the right boot towards centre half forward. Trying to pick up the football, Susan Cadman. Did well. Managed to move it forward, but there's plenty of Kookaburras trying to hold it up in defence. Cadman receives it again. Held up. We're talking about Caroline Leduc. She spent the North American summer, the Australian winter, in Western Australia, where she played for the East Fremantle Sharks, their reserve side in the West Australian Women's Football League, where they just fell short of making the grand final by one match. But from all accounts had a very good season, and she might be headed back to Australia again next year to try her hand trying to make the highest level of the state league competition, and who knows, maybe drafted for the AFL women's competition come 2020 when they expand. There'll be an extra team in Western Australia in that state. They've just got the one team, the Fremantle Dockers, next time round in 2020. So that's about a year and a half away. They will have the West Coast Eagles joining that competition. Here's the kick towards camera side. Getting in there, spinning around beautifully. Avila did well. Gained some territory. And being caught then holding the football, Laurel Desch. And the umpire says that's holding the football. Free kick going the way of the Sacramento Suns. Here's the kick on the left boot. Whoop, a bit of a wonky one off the side of the boot, and a tackle laid on. The ball will be held up. Great to see a lot of teams on the west coast of the United States. We talk about Sacramento Suns. There's the reigning Women's Division 1 champions, the San Francisco Iron Maidens. The Los Angeles Dragons are also fielding a side here in Women's Division 2. Then also further up north, you've got the Portland Sockeyes and Seattle Grizzlies who field sides in Division 1. Women's football very strong on the west coast of the United States. Now trying to park herself underneath it, Avila. Lost control, but managed to get it to the advantage of Nicolette Clark. Umpire pays the mark. Does he? No, he doesn't. Pardon me. Calls for a ball up. Rakowski wins it down. Clark come through. Pardon me, it was Leduc. Moreau made a contest. Umpire comes in and calls for another ball up. When we say a ball up in Aussie rules, it's essentially a jump ball like you have in basketball. At this amateur level, or in the women's league, they throw the ball up. In the old days, or at least in the men's professional competition, to restart play at the start of a quarter or after a goal, they bounce the football. They slam. The umpire crouches over and slams the ball into the turf and allows it to bounce as high as possible. That's the traditional way of doing it, but most now just throwing the ball up like you do in a basketball jump start. Umpires having a discussion of who's got the free kick here. Just wait while they sort things out. 3 goals, 3 behind, 21 Sacramento. Calgary, no score. Under 14 minutes remaining in this contest. We're playing 2 20-minute halves as opposed to a traditional 4-quarter match. We play shortened format here during the tournament to try and fit in as many matches as possible. As now here's a run on. Good kick up the line, courtesy of Cassie Cox. Only plays for the Arizona Hawks today, playing for Calgary. Will kick along the ground. Cox has chased it up again. She's done well. She's held it up. Trying to get in there. Christensen for Sacramento. Kicked around the corner. Ball at the back pocket Oh, talk about a bump and clearing traffic coming through. Angela Phillips cleared the player out of the way. And the umpire says it's all locked in. We'll call for a ball up. Phillips normally plays for the North Star Blue Ox. Today playing for Calgary. The kick off the ground soccer style was by Caroline Sequeira towards the half-back flank. Now half-forward flank with a turnover for Calgary. But having her kick smothered then, I think was Rebecca King. Umpire comes in, blows the whistle and says we'll call for a ball up. About 50 metres out here from the Calgary goal, kicking towards the right of screen. That's the eastern end, or if you keep going, the Lake Michigan end. Whereas Sacramento kicking to the left of screen, the western end of the ground. Balls to be thrown back into play. Rakowski losing out in that contest to Kaczynski. Umpire says over the shoulder contact. Free kick going the way of the Calgary Kookaburras. So here's the kick. Goes up the line. Oh, is that a mark? No, not paid. Flying through the air there was Natalie Smith. And now the umpire says it's all locked in. We'll call for a ball up. Natalie Smith normally playing for the Nashville Kangaroos. They're playing for the Calgary Kookaburras. Rakowski. Now the hurry kick out of the contest by Danielle Marshall. All trapped in there. And the umpire says, I'll take the footy back and we'll call for a ball up. Here's the way. Throws it high in the air. Rakowski goes in the contest. Marshall did well in that ruck. Then put on the left boot and the ball went out of bounds on the full. So that means a free kick to the Sacramento Suns. 11 and a half minutes remaining in this second half. Sacramento with a comfortable lead. For Calgary to hit the front, they'll need 4 straight goals. That's the fastest way there. And a hand pass out of the pack was courtesy of Bunker. Now, is that one in the back? Yes, according to the umpire. You can't shove someone in the back, put your hands in their back. That's a free kick in Aussie rules. And that means the Calgary Kookaburras now have a chance on the half-foot flank. Fair distance on the kick. And it come off hands and registered as a minor score. Just the one behind. The first score for Calgary. And they go to one behind. Sacramento 3-3-21 here at the USAFL Nationals Women's Division 2. As a mark taken there by Nicolette Clark. Comes camera side. Trying to park herself underneath it. Jen Sheehan. Leduc fit out the hand pass. Moreau on hands and knees. Tapped it forward. Maybe you're dropping the football against the Villa there. Play on. Leduc. Trying to get a hurry kick away. Was smothered. And the pack will form. The umpire will have no choice but to call for a ball up. So we'll reset play. Umpire throws it in the air. Punch forward. Up against the boundary line here. Trying to keep it in was Kiralee Simmons. Went up the line. Only to be intercepted and sent back from whence it came. Right in front of our camera position. But our camera's struggling to turn around in time to see it. Trying to get in there. Schaefer. Lost out to Simmons. Trying to get it moving forward towards the half-forward flank. That support from King. Now in towards the middle of the ground. Juggled. Ball hit the deck. And the umpire circling. Waits for it. Sees it comes out. Now, is that dropping the football? I think it is. The player in Hickey tried to get a hurry kick away, but the ball hit the deck. If you have the football and you drop it and kick it, it's still counted as dropping the football. In fact, the player pinned there was Ron Cancillo. So now an opportunity for Sacramento to move it forward. Bounced off hands. Leduc held without it. And we'll get the resulting free kick. She played for the Montreal-Boston combination in the 2016 Nationals in Sarasota. Then played for Montreal's standalone team last year at San Diego. And of course now playing in the Sacramento-Montreal combination this year. Of course with a couple of players as well from the Wisconsin Wombats, we should mention. Here's the kick up the line in the forward pocket. Cassie Cox goes chasing after it. Support from her teammates. Can't get a clear possession out. And Sacramento will look to clear. Now, did that go on the full? Yes, it did. And that will be a free kick going the way of the Calgary Kookaburras. Alexia Roncansio, normally from the Nashville Kangaroos, today playing for the Calgary Kookaburras. Under 8 minutes remaining. On the right. Close to the goals, but away to the right-hand side. And is that a point or out of bounds? Now, there's a bit of a discussion here between the umpire and the boundary umpire. Now, so either way, it's gone out, so it's not a score. So what the discussion is about is if a player has taken a free kick because the ball went out of bounds in the full, and they kick the football, but the football stays out of bounds and never actually travels in play, is then declared a boundary throw-in from that spot. But if the player kicks it, the ball kind of floats over the line in play but floats back out again, then it's called out of bounds on the full and a free kick to the opposition. So the umpire has ruled that the ball floated in play and floated back out again, so it is a free kick to the Sacramento Suns. Here's the kick, and was trying to find Nicolette Clark. Squeezed out there. Isabel Senecal. Got moving forward. Good bump late on. Is that dropping the football? I think that is. And a free kick will be adjudged out of this contest, going to Caroline Island. Caroline Island from the Calgary Kookaburras. Unloads. Punched away there by Rebecca Mansell. Pardon me, yes, that was by Rebecca Mansell. And the ball goes over the boundary line and out of bounds. Near the right-hand point post, 20-point lead to Sacramento over Calgary. Ball is thrown back into play. Now a hurried snap on goal, just across the face there by Cassie Cox. Still in the forward pocket here for Calgary. Brought down to ground, Caroline Island, and the umpire is going to adjudge a free kick for holding the football. And it looks like it could be going the way there for Isabel Senecal for Sacramento. Goes short to Moreau. Velo Moreau's covered a lot of ground. Goes up the line, was looking for Caitlin Bunker. Coming in, Naplapov, good tackle. Now coming out down to 24. In Marshall, who delivers up the line, and the ball goes out of bounds on the full. 5 minutes remaining in this contest. 20-point lead to Sacramento. 3-3-21 to just the one behind. Now, at any stage in Aussie rules that you do see the score like this, 3-3. That's 3 goals, 3 behinds, and the end score in the red box means the total score. To get the total score, it's quite simple. Your goals, you just times by 6. So 3 times 6 is 18. The behinds are worth 1 point each, so it's 18 plus 3, and that equals 21. Obviously, Calgary have scored 0 goals. They've got the 1 behind, so that's worth 1 point and a total of 1 on their score. 4.5 minutes remaining. As there's an opportunity now for a shot on goal from about 35 metres out for the Kookaburras. Flat kick. How does it look? It is away to the left-hand side and will register as a minor score. So that now moves things along here. 2 behinds Calgary. Sacramento, 3-3-21. Four minutes remaining. The kick back into play. Taken near ground level by Isabel Senecal. Normally plays for Montreal. Playing today for Sacramento. Ironically wearing the Montreal jumpers. Mark taken for Sacramento. Here's the kick up the line. Works out okay. Flat punt, was trying to find Vicky Schoen-Nagel, got away from her. Now hurry kick to get towards half forward. Bouncing football. 51, which we don't have our book, gets the hurry kick away. Has to chase up her own footy. Leduc gets it, spins around, fires out the hand pass. Now the shot on goal. How does that look? I think it's bounced through. That's a goal for Sacramento. Marvellous goal. And that just extends their lead further. I think it might be Danielson out there that scored that. 4-3-27 Sacramento. Calgary just the 2 behinds. A dominant display from the Suns here today on field 3. It's quick mover with the ball. Leduc fit out the hand pass. The flying shot at goal from the pocket. That's all she wrote, which will be heartbreaking there for Calgary because they had predominantly the play in their forward half, but were just struggling to find an avenue to goal. 2.5 minutes remaining. Umpire with the ball back in the middle of the ground as we count down to full time. Women's Division 2 of the USAFL Nationals, the Sacramento, Montreal, Wisconsin combination versus Calgary, teamed up with players in the North Star Blue Hawks, Arizona Hawks, and Nashville Kangaroos. As the play goes on quickly through Moreau, ducked off one, moved it inside 50. Now the kick around the corner by Nicolette Clark. It's a bouncing football, but it's cleared off by the Kookaburras defense, only as far as Moreau. Moreau thought about going, then said, look, I'm going to go back and have a shot. But why not when your team's 25 points up with about 1.5 minutes to go? Joint leading goal kicker for the Essendon VFLW club. Kicks it, just falls short of the goal square. Aflopop does the shepherding work. Titus Lay wanted a shot on goal, but it skewed off the side of her boot. And close to the boundary line, umpire with a whistle in mouth, thinking about blowing it. Says no, it's come out. It's okay, let play go on. And now the kick will go over the boundary line out of bounds. I mentioned before Essendon VFLW club. I actually say VFLW team because Essendon, an Australian Football League club, one of the most powerful clubs in the competition, the most successful. And this year they entered their very first women's side, and they put it in what you would judge as the minor league or state league competition, the VFL women's competition, with an eye to possibly one day getting a license to be in the AFL women's competition. As we wait for the ball to be thrown back into play, far side of the ground. Jonag went through. Umpire said holding the football, and that will be a free kick going the way of the Calgary Kookaburras. Not too far away from full time here. On the right boot, can the Kookaburras score a goal before the time runs out, just to have a bit of a morale booster here on day one? Oh, maybe in the back there for Flock, and that's what the umpires are judged. Free kick going the way of the Sacramento Suns. She's feeling a little worse for wear after that one. The sting of playing Aussie rules football. It hurts, but once this final siren goes and your team wins, you feel all the more better. Time's expired on our scoreboard. We're just waiting for the final hooter to go here. And there it is. That is the final hooter here on Field 3 in Racine, Wisconsin, where Sacramento, 4-3-27, have defeated Calgary 2 behinds. I'm Peter Holton. Thank you very much for your company. And until next time, it's bye for now.